Hi guys, I hope everyone's doing okay. I'd love to talk to you guys today. A lot of people think that they know me, but they really don't. I'm just your average singer, songwriter, beat maker, mixer. I work at Amazon as well. I've been working a lot of hours, 50, 60 hours a week. But what you don't know is I'm basically working for two when it comes to income levels. My husband left me. Okay. I am dating somebody at the moment, and things are just a little bit crazy. You know, people have their baggage, and sometimes money isn't about relationships. Okay? As long as there's love and respect in a relationship, what more can a person ask for? So, to kind of put a little rewind here, I am growing up. I have never had it easy. I've always been poor. My parents were abused when they were young. They raised us as best as they could. But some of the things they learned from their parents weren't the greatest. And they weren't always there as best as they could have been. You know, my dad smoked a lot of weed, drank a lot. He was an alcoholic. There was always fighting going on. Sometimes I would wake up right next to her, or she would be in my bed and I'd wonder what happened. Well, I kind of knew what happened, but I fell asleep to a lot of things that I heard in the back room because my room was right next to theirs. So, needless to say, I lived in a dysfunctional home for quite a long time. My mom always wrote hot checks sometimes. She paid him back, but that was just to break even. To make sure at least we had food on the table, but also for some of my dad's wantings when it comes to his addictions. Okay. So I lived a lot around that. I always got hand-me-downs from my sister. When she couldn't fit her clothes, I wore them because they couldn't always afford to buy me clothes. I never had like Abercrombie and Fitch or some of the name brand designer clothes growing up. I was always made fun of in school. I was bullied. A lot of my days I spent growing up playing video games, playing outside, being the tomboy, singing. Even though my parents always told me to be quiet because they said it was just a ruckus and I didn't sound too good at times. I know I'm not perfect at singing. Nobody is. Shoot, probably most of Hollywood uses auto-tune to do half of their stuff, if you want to be honest. Um, but they still sing pretty good, even without the auto-tune. That's why they are where they're at. So, growing up, I found myself writing a lot. I really started writing at age 16. It was my escape to get away from what I was hearing and what was going on inside my house between some of the abuses. You know, my parents loved me and they did support me, but at times they weren't as good as a parent should have supported, so to speak. They never forced me to go to church, but I did go to church because it was also another way to escape all the problems that I was facing at my house. Um, so, age 16, I was writing. I got a job, started working at GFF. You know, I loved some other people. You know, I wanted to date, but some other people didn't want to date me for whatever the case may be. Um, I met somebody when I was 17. Um, I knew him for a long time from church, my ex. And he's never perfect, but I fell in love. I asked God if it was the right thing. I prayed. And Sure enough, I got married when I was about 18, 19, fresh out of high school in 2007. I really thought I had life all figured out. So I had um, I had went to college for a couple months. I took all those high fancy classes, AP courses in high school to try and get ahead. I was burned out. I didn't give myself enough time um, in between to really figure out what I wanted to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to stay away from meteorology because I love meteorology, but after seeing the May 3rd tornadoes and some other tornadoes in between that time, I was like, there's no way I can pass the math. And it was scary enough living through that to where I didn't want to be in the middle of a tornado chasing it. I still like to study the weather though sometimes just to kind of know what's going on, especially here in Oklahoma. One minute it can rain, the next minute it could snow, and then the next minute it could tornado all in the same day. We've had a few days like that. Okay, back to when I got married. So I got married young. Like I said, I thought I had life figured out. I had to mature quick for my age. Um, I was one always having to provide for myself when I got a job. I provided for my own wedding, came up with all the money for it. He came up with some of the money. And things are going great, you know. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but I pretty much put my music on hold and what I wanted to do. So I basically coasted through life. Had my daughter when I was about 21, 22. She was the best thing ever. I couldn't, God couldn't give me a better kid. Of course, we were fighting on and off, but we still loved each other. I know he went to Vegas one time before he had my daughter because a friend wanted him to go. And 10 years later, I found out he cheated once then out there. But my parents and my sister never had the heart to tell me. Well, back in 2009, I lost my mom to cancer. My mom was really, really sweet. She got sick one day and they found out she had cancer, and then 2 weeks later she was practically dead. Things between the age of 18 and 22 went okay. We had some struggles off and on. You know, but my parents forgave. You know, they started building an actual relationship with me, thing that I've longed for the longest time. It was bittersweet. She got to at least know my daughter at least for almost a year. My daughter barely remembers her. Okay, so I was dealing with grieving there. You know, I sunk into, just coasted, you know, working for Walmart, all kinds of hours, thought making 18 or 8.25 an hour was good, you know, because when you came from a job only working $6 an hour, you know, you think you figured everything out. You know, I quit school. Silly me. I'm thought about going back sometime soon. Just don't know when or how. Considering it costs, everything costs these days. So that happened. And it was really, really sad. I see my dad suffer quite a bit. He was in depression, a lot of depression. He drank a lot, smoked a lot, always missing my mom. He said I was the spitting image of my mom, and I could see why. I was closer to my dad, despite sometimes them being really strict growing up and sometimes spanking me. It hurt when they spanked, but look at where I'm at now. Like I said, parents are never perfect, but they try. Anyways, I coasted more. At one point, I had to borrow some money from my nana. I was the only one working, and my husband was going to school at the time. And my sister, I told her about it because I was trying to get things kind of situated with the house. And she's like, well, it's a cruel world. You can't have that money back. So I had to borrow from my nana to pay a ticket. I actually ran into somebody behind me. It was a small fender bender, but coming home from work tired, slaving myself at Walmart, it was just a bad deal. I know this may seem like I'm rambling in this video, but just to kind of give you an idea, just a just a skeleton of everything that's ever happened in my life. So you guys can kind of get to know me and everything. So during that course, I had so much craziness going on and just coasting. Like I said, 2013 hit, and my dad was always feeling sick. He met a girl who kind of opened his eyes and kind of brightened his life a little bit. Well, he went to the doctor finally after everything that he was complaining about, and then he found out he had cancer. He had lymphoma. He had a knot on the side of his neck. He smoked weed a lot. I swear that's probably what kept him alive. There's been medicinal properties, studies shown that there is medicinal properties in weed. But aside from the fact, he went downhill pretty quick, and I lost him in 2013. So there I am, still coasting through this life with my husband. Working for Walmart, just doing the everyday process of living. I'm not perfect in the relationship. I learned a lot of things only after the fact that he left me. But so one day, I seen back in 2017. I wrote maybe a couple songs here and there in between, but not really all that much. 2017 was a year for me to wake up. So I surmounting through debt one day. Okay. And I had looked at everything and I was feeling really depressed. And I thought, oh, well, I have $200,000 life insurance. I'm better off dead than alive. They wouldn't miss me. Except for my daughter. I knew it hurt her. So I took a knife and I was about to just take care of business there. But in that moment, a day in 2017, I was listening to the music. And Justin Bieber's song, Life's Worth Living song came on. That's what was really beating into my head. I broke down and I was crying. Okay. I was asking God for forgiveness. What should I do? Really, seriously, what should I do? So I put everything away, and God just really opened my eyes that there's a life worth living. Okay. So when that song came on, it was totally an epiphany. So after hearing that song, I was kind of curious. Who's this Justin Bieber guy? Now he's 7 years older than me. Younger than me. Now I'm almost gonna be 33. And I had just, it was just an epiphanal moment. Now, this is the crazy part. I don't know what you believe. Um, I'm not a stalker or anything. Don't think anything of it. I'm just a girl after God's own heart. Okay, so this is where it all began. God told me that same day, hey, go find Justin Bieber. Go find out who he is. Go start your songwriting. Get on the internet. Try and find him. And not only try and find him, try and help other people out. Whether it's other celebs or other people within the fandoms, just go help them out with your experience and try to bring them life and show them that there's a way out, that they don't have to kill themselves. I'm like thinking to myself, did I really hear this right, God? Because I do pray. Are you really talking to me? I thought, this sounds crazy. This is like when Noah was told to go build an ark that is going to be raining and flooding for 40 days and 40 nights. And the people in the wilderness never seen rain in a long time. So there was a lot of hesitancy in doing so. So I told my husband, I was like, look, this is what I have to do. He's like, you're crazy. He's like, all those people online are fake. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So I started my Twitter. I only had three followers. Okay. So I started following people, ran into different accounts, ran into some awesome, cool people I learned. I started making friends left and right. That's where I started on Twitter. Within the fandom of believers and other fandoms. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool. These people are so cool. Even though I've never met them, I never fully heard their voices. But just to sit there and listen and hear their stories, it's quite amazing. And then there are times where I've heard some people that they were going through a really bad time, and I opened up my heart to them and spent countless hours online helping them, talk to them, and talk to them some about a suicide. Okay, well, on my hunt to find this specific person or persons, I ran into many fake accounts. I almost gave up completely. Completely. Okay. So, in that process, I almost gave up then. But some told me, oh, go on Instagram. Go do your stuff on Instagram. Go find somebody on Instagram. So I thought I did at one point. But it comes to find out there was someone faking to be a certain celeb. And I almost gave up. My husband was not happy because I was spending a lot of hours and time. This person that was faking to be Selena almost got all my music that I ever started with on here. Because she had me totally convinced that she was Selena. Until my purity finally broke through to her and she realized, oh no, I can't believe I just did this. And she admitted that she's not who she said she thought that she was trying to be. And she may have messed with a couple of my accounts. I don't know. But we parted our ways. And ever since then, I was just like, man, am I ever really going to do and find who I'm needing to find, who I've been called to find? Okay. I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no. I'm going to leave it open-ended for privacy reasons. But Facebook was the most realist of them all with people. Over the course of the last year and a half or two, I've met so many people through Facebook. I've talked to some people that I know were the real deal. Texting, Messenger, you know how Messenger is. And I'm not saying who, But it's been quite an amazing experience. And I knew that they was able to prove who they said they were. So I am coming from nothing. Simple old me talking to people that I didn't think I'd be talking to, period. Um and it's just me being who I am, being authentic, being genuine, putting myself out there. Uh, no matter how I sounded, I mean, I was a shy girl growing up. I mean, I was bullied even all the way through junior high and a little bit in high school. Like, sometimes why I think I still choke up sometimes when I sing is because there was a couple times when I was in junior high where kids would get me to sing, only later they would be laughing at me at the hall, saying, "Oh, look at that girl, she thinks she can sing," you know, just having that mental picture. It's kind of nerve wracking, especially when you maybe someday will go on stage, if that's going to play back in your mind. And it's kind of why I used the internet, was because I knew nobody could actually physically see me right in that instance live, unless I actually went on live, and even then I'm just talking through a camera. It's not like I'm physically face to face to that person in the same room. So, with that being said, I've overcame a lot of struggles. I'm more open to who I am. I'm more open to my ideals. Um, and so, in that course of time, when I found certain people, it wasn't me trying to, oh, say, look at my music. It was just like, hey, this is what I do. I'm here to encourage you. Whether you want to listen or not, that's up to you. I want to help you. I want to promote you. You know, if I found something on someone's page, I shared it to my page. Um, but now, with things that's happened since my husband just got so tired of me, he didn't believe in the dreams that I had. He up and left me, found another girl he met online, and is now staying with her, supporting her. My daughter has autism, mild autism, separation anxiety, and social anxiety some. She's getting better, but I've had her in virtual learning even before COVID. And she's grown so much. I needed help. I got some help from my neighbors. Um, I don't know exactly how to put it. Um, you know, sometimes people agree to disagree with certain things. Anyways, so at one point I was jobless. I was living on food stamps. He was supporting at least the bills until one day he just left me up and dry. In the process of supporting, he could only support at one point. I didn't know that I'd be actually qualified for food stamps. I was depressed and anxiety for a good solid year, really bad. Not to the point where I was going to kill myself, but to the point where I was socially distant from everyone. And he supplied what little bit he could supply out of his check between eating bologna, food, eggs, and cheese, and bread, and a couple other things. For a good solid 6 months, that's pretty much all we ate. It was better than nothing. But then that's when I broke free and went and got food stamps finally after a second time of rejections. And needless to say, uh, she, it was horrible. I mean, in the process of him up and leaving me, I found out, you know, he was cross-dressing, um, experimenting, um, and the day we had our last big fight, he was said, well, I was going to divorce you in 10 years anyway, after Georgia was out. So he already kind of had that mindset. He claimed that I pushed him away. He claimed that I treated him bad. He claimed that I thought he was just a servant. There were times I should have asked less of him and from him, but I thought, well, if he truly loved me, then he would do such. I don't know what I was thinking. See, that's the thing. When you get married young, you think you have the whole world figured out. You think you know what love is. Until later, you realize what love truly is when another person comes in your life. So, I broke down. I got the help I needed. Amazon came down here to Oklahoma, finally, in their warehouses. And I applied. I got a job. I've been there a year. It's been up and down. It has its moments. But the only problem is I'm kind of working for two. Supplying for me and my daughter. And what I mean by that is, my ex made X amount of dollars. I made this amount of dollars. And together that's what it equaled. Well, with what I'm making now, I'm basically making the same amount as if my ex was still here, plus my job when I was working for Walmart. That was a very bad place. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the people, I loved my job, but just some of the things changed within Walmart. There was one day at my neighborhood market, I transferred to neighborhood market, and I was doing 4 or 5 people's jobs. There was one day I was baking the bread, I was cooking up the deli food, I was stocking the deli food, and I was slicing and prepping everything for the actual deli, in between while serving customers. Oh, and by the way, I was also stocking the shelves as well when there wasn't any customers around with what I could do. Others in that store were getting away with murder, able to listen to music, and I had got called in the office. I was written up. They're like, we're going to get you for unproductivity. You didn't do this, this, and this. When you came to the store with 50 mistakes, we got you down to 20. But you still need to do better. And, it was just completely abusive. Because here I am, throwing myself, doing everything that a manager's job would do without getting paid managerial pay, and still got in trouble for it, even though it's what they told me to do. So I flipped my lid. I lost my job at Walmart when I was still kind of with my ex at the time. And that's kind of when things went downhill. That's when I figured out and shown what true colors were. He was only with me partially because what I was making paid. We're working things out. We're at least talking, at least for civil sake for my daughter. But I just don't know where to go from here, I'm doing the best I can working for Amazon. It's been a blessing. I finally was able to get my car, making payments on it. It's kind of expensive, but hey, at least I know it's dependable and will get me back to and forth. I'm paying my own insurance. I'm having to pay for childcare, which is very expensive. And not one deadgum dime is he ever paying. I'm nice like that. I should take him for child support. But if I did that, then, and I know he can't pay out of it, it would only put him even more in a bind and more of a struggle between me and him. Of eventually, hopefully, working things out and keeping it civil for my daughter. Even though I do need his help, it would help. At least show me that you want to be there for something for her. Rather than supplying for someone else's kids, actually start supplying for your own as well. That would be nice. Even if it was just $10 a month or every week, at least it'd be something towards my daughter, that I could get her. I'm not a money hungry person. I'm just a struggling, broke American that's seen a dream, that went for it and tried her best to make something better for our family, even though one didn't provide and didn't understand the dream or the vision and lost faith in everything that he's seen in front. You know? I mean, he still does talk to her through Messenger. It's kind of hard for him to come down right now because the car's messed up on his end. He took my car. I paid half of it off when I lost my job at Walmart. I cashed my 401k so we would have a vehicle to get back and forth to work for him. I was basically a white servant to him as far as when it came to me making the money. Relationships, though, aren't about money, but he was like, well, you need to make some money. You need to get a job. Because I can't be the one always footing the bill, even though he was only working 20 hours a week. And I'm thinking to myself, give me a chance to have a break. Give me a chance to find myself. So I made a promise that whoever I'm with the next time around, like I am now, that I'm not going to let them tear me down, and that I'm not going to let them prevent me from being somewhere I want to be, that they want to have the same visions and goals that I do eventually, and that they support the idea of me trying to get in the industry somehow, some way, making money, whether it's through my songwriting, beat mixing, or my talents. And that's not why I wanted to talk to celebs, period. I noticed how celebs are just so isolated. They need someone cool. They need someone that understands them in a way they can only understand them. It's not easy living their life. They're always surrounded by cameras. They feel like the things they want to say, they can't say. So I thought maybe if I tried to be friends with some celebs, that maybe I can help them out. Just listening to them, letting them get things off their chest, not saying a word about what's going on to anybody else, but just being there for them and just praying for them, whatever their situation is that they're telling me, if they're telling me anything at all that they're struggling and dealing with, that they knew that somebody out there cared enough to hear them out, and not because of who they were, or if they were famous, or if they had this much or that much, that they were just there being real with somebody, and that somebody was being there real for them and with them. And so I'm trying my best to be there for everybody that I can be there in my life, whoever you are. And I hope that you have been blessed one way or another, even through all my personal issues and breakdowns. My house is halfway broke, I want to say. I no more fix something in it, and then it's something else is broke to where I can't fix this that really needs to be fixed, but I've had to put this aside, knowing that this was more important over here to fix first before this over here. Like, I have a back door that's broken. It needs to be fixed completely. But it's at least boarded up. I have an oven that the burners work if you light a match to it, but I need to get the bottom part working. It's like the heating element won't oven, but at least I have a griddle, and a microwave to help cook stuff. My washer and dryer, I got one of those, but I need to change the plug. That's not too hard of a fix, but it's just all these little fixes that just need to be fixed. Getting the name out, getting the house name out of my parents' house into my name, or both of me and my sister's name, or whoever that it belongs to after they pass. Having to repay part of the house back towards my sister. I mean, I feel like I have nothing, no matter how much I try so hard too. You know, those are big, expensive fixes. Um, I'm not telling you my story for you to feel sorry for me. I'm just putting it out there just for you to know and understand me a little bit better and why I'm so driven to give you my best with whatever I'm doing with my talents. I um, have had so many things happen, good things happen, and some bad things happen. It's life is a train. It just keeps on going and going and going, and there's no point in stopping. And when it does stop, there's always a detour in the middle of it that takes you around on another path, rather than getting on the same path. But as long as you keep on going, no matter how many things are thrown at you, you will succeed and be where you want to be one day. I'm closer than what I used to be when I first started this mission, but I'm still far a long way. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Sarah Kathleen Sullivan's story, but she is doing some documentary series. She has a movie, Evil in Plain Sight. She has Angel Warriors. She's an awesome screenwriter, an awesome friend I made online. And I didn't know where it was going to go with that. I just was intrigued by her story and the things that she was doing. And I promoted her on my page, you know. I mean, I'm not like some famous promoter, celebrity, booker, or whatever you want to call it. I just like helping people get connected to where they feel like they can be connected to, because everyone needs connections to anybody, whether they're going to get somewhere with their job or not with that connection, but just having that connection, even just as a friend, just somebody to talk to help guide them, even if that person doesn't want to work with them. You know, guidance and knowledge is free and it's powerful. So I had helped her with that, and amazing things are happening. I may not be able to see the results right now, but everything takes time. And over the course of time, we're better off where we were than where we were 2 years ago. So I guess I gotta count my blessings and try to get ahead somehow, some way. I don't know how. I'm praying for a miracle that God can just grant me monetary things right now, just to help me get things fixed for my house so I don't lose it. There's things I need to pay for that's kind of backed a little bit. I had helped some people out that needed the help, and I know they'll help me back as they continue to at times, but at the same time it's stressful on them because of what the government's doing. They're playing with people's lives. They filed for taxes during the coronavirus. They put a halt on paying some people their taxes, and it's taking forever for them to get where they want to get with it. So it makes it very difficult and very hard for me to get ahead because I'm waiting on people to pay me. And I know they'll hold true and hold good to their promise. Because if it wouldn't have been for me giving even when I didn't have it, but still gave anyway, they wouldn't be where they would be today. I'm not one to hold onto my money. Like, if you really needed it, and I had like $20, and I could see that you needed it, you know, I might be one of the ones to grant it to you, you know, or at least get you something to eat. I'm a giving person. I know what it's like to not have anything. I know what it's like to be hungry. But someday I pray and hope that I can wake up one day and not worry where my next meal comes from, not worry if I'm going to lose my job, and if I lose my job, then this. Someday I want to wake up and see a whole lot of zeros in my bank account to where my money can work for me, to where I can bless other people, and maybe put, hey, you need $1,000, here you go. Let's invest it. Let's show you what you can do with this $1,000. If I had it, you know, to give. We're all struggling in this economy, and we're all struggling just to even breathe. I mean, the movie industry's been hit hard. The music industry, the only way they're making any money whatsoever is if making albums, and even then, you know, it's kind of hard to make money doing that because you have to promote, and what can you promote if you don't have any concert venues to promote your music at? So you're relying on internet sales alone just to even barely make it, a break even of what it takes and what it costs to actually make the music. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of determination. And even then, a song could take up to 6 months to a year. It can take 3 months. It just really depends upon the team and the progression and everything that you want done to it. And the collab and just getting every note perfect, spot on. So, it's not easy. And I know I have a lot to work on. But I guarantee you, whoever someday decides to wake up and realize, hey, this girl has talent, let's sign her, let's make something of it. I've seen her songs posted online. I've seen her story. I've seen her struggles, you know, and here she's still doing it. You know, this girl really wants to work hard. Let's give her a chance. You know, I promise you, whoever gives you a chance, I'm gonna work my damnedest, my hardest, to give you all the best that I got within me. Because I want to succeed. I want to live the dream. My dream is to do my writing. Shoot, I'd be so happy at home, even if I was just a writer at home, gave you a song, hey, here you go. If someone just said, hey, here's $50,000 for your song, let me take it, I would just give it to them, and as long as they pay me the cash, and called it good, and they just ran with it, and, you know, made it their own after that. You know, kind of like some songwriters, they sell all their loyalties and rights, you know. I know what it feels like to live on less. I could live on 100 grand the rest of my life, in all truth. Maybe. Maybe not so much in this day and economy, but I would be well off. Because then I would be able to pay my debts, which is under 70,000, and then I would be able to take their other 30,000, and I would be able to invest in different stocks and bonds and whatnot to set up for my daughter's sake. But even with her issues that she has, she's so strong. She's always been there and very supportive, and I love her to death. And I hope someday that I will be able to provide the best thing that I ever could provide for her. The best life. Give her things that I never could get when I was growing up. Get her out of the chance of being from poverty. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful for what I do have. There's other people that had good paying jobs before this coronavirus, and then they had lost it, and they're struggling just to even eat. So don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for what I do have. Even if it's not much, it's still something. I mean, there's people, you know, in different countries that don't even have a home. They're just living out in the dry, bare land. So I guess I do gotta count my blessings regardless. So I hope that you guys are encouraged. I love you all. And I know this video is a little long, but I did not know how else to explain my life story. There was many abuses I know growing up, when I was growing up, physical, emotional, more so emotional than anything. And if I can overcome whatever struggle you are having, whether you're being abused, whether you mentally just don't feel like you can talk to anybody, come find me, Amanda Webb, on Facebook. I'll be having this profile pic with this shirt on. That's the real me. On my old account, it's gotten hacked. We're having trouble getting it restored. Mark Zuckerberg restored it, but whoever hacked my account still has control. I'm trying to pull off my old songs off of it because that's where they were all backed up onto. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to pull them on like a flash drive and back them up in Word document. But I'm trying slowly but surely to restore all those songs back. So, and the people I had on that account, back on this new one, just somehow come find me, come reach out, make a comment on this video so I can talk to you if need be. I'm on Messenger. I'm on Kick at Irish Badass 23. I'm on Snap, Irish Badass 23. I'm on this YouTube channel, as you know, that I made. I'm on, like I said, Facebook. I'm having trouble with my Insta. I did change my name back to Lyric Writer 30. But find me on Facebook. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be on Facebook. If you're struggling, you just need someone to kind of lift you up. I just read my posts, read my songs. And there's times I'm not perfect. I blow up millions of times. I get mad so easy. And I don't mean to. But we're all human. We all deserve respect. We all deserve love. And we all deserve to have something good in this life. So let God take control. Let Him show you different things that you never thought would be possible. Start living for today and start making things and living a full life that you are needing to live, that you expected to live. Instead of just surviving, try to actually thrive. And you can. So good night.